Commercial real estate videos are brought to you by Bull Realty. When your business requires proven performance, contact Bull Realty. And by Arnold Golden Gregory, France Media Inc., Resnick Group, and Andy's Army. Welcome back. I'm Michael Bull, and this is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. We have some great shows coming up, including next week's show on the U.S. medical market. Following that, we'll have a show on the single-tenant net lease market, then a show coming up on commercial loan workouts. Don't miss a show of special interest to you. Sign up for a once-a-week email announcing the show topic at commercialrealestateshow.com. Well, today we're getting an update on the U.S. industrial market. My guests are Mitch Rochelle with PwC and Greg Herron with Seafried Industrial Properties. What are some of the factors driving major corporations' decision-making and the demands facing users moving forward, Mitch?
One of the things we track more from the investor side, but I think investors have an insight on the tenants, is the decision of tenants to stay put in a property when a lease matures as opposed to either shopping a better deal or shopping something that logistically makes more sense. Mm-hmm. We see it in the office sector. We're also seeing it in the industrial sector. So if you look at your screen, if you're in front of a computer, you'll see a trend line where the tenant retention ratio is improving, meaning it's going up, and it's approaching 70%. And at the worst, it was 60%. So that means that when investors are underwriting deals, they look at the portfolio of tenants across the book, and they're saying that 70% of those tenants, when the leases roll, are going to stay put. So that's driving rents up. So why the tenants deciding to stay? It's employee focused. It's just the notion of relocating. And if you look at corporate profits, they're driven by efficiency. They're driven by the fact that companies are getting the most out of their workforce. So to shut that down, build a new facility, or have a landlord build a new facility, move in there and run the risk of this finely tuned machine that's efficient and productive and profitable, taking a hiccup, it doesn't make sense. So they'd rather stay put. The advances in technology inside the box may have changed. So depending on what's going on in that warehouse, it may be more less technologically advanced than it could be. But I think the trade-off is the risk of failed productivity. And the other thing is there's also big capital investments inside the box. So you think about building a warehouse and the core and shell is less than $100 a square foot. There are tenants that have $200 a square foot inside the building, and having to deploy capital to rebuild that or move that just isn't efficient for the profitability of the enterprise. So all in all, tenants are choosing to stay put. It's another piece of good news for rents.
Yeah, that is good news. Well, some of these markets are starting to tighten up. Where are the landlord-oriented markets, and which markets are more tenant-oriented right now?
One of the other things we track in our survey is something we call the PwC Real Estate Barometer. So we take all of the markets across the country, and we chart them in terms of where they are in the cycle, from recession to recovery to expansion and contraction. And we're seeing that, through 2015, which is our forecast period, the industrial sector is moving from coming out of the recession through the recovery, and even in many markets in the expansion. Some of the markets I want to sort of highlight: Albuquerque from 2013 on is an expansion market. Salt Lake City, similarly, Denver. So that part of the country is seeing a lot of economic expansion, a lot of companies relocating there, and there's a lot of growth there. Orlando, clearly overbuilt. Dallas, overbuilt. Nashville, overbuilt. And those markets taking a lot longer to come out of their recession and get to the point where they're in a recovery. And it'll happen. It'll be gradual. And if we continue to not add new stock to the inventory in these markets, the net absorption will have the benefit of filling up the vacant space.
Okay, we're going to have more from Mitch Rochelle and Greg Herron in just a moment. If you appreciate the show, reach out to our sponsors. You can find them at commercialrealestateshow.com. I'm Michael Bull, and this is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. Commercial real estate videos are brought to you by Bull Realty. When your business requires proven performance, contact Bull Realty. And by Arnold Golden Gregory, France Media Inc., Resnick Group, and Andy's Army. Well, welcome back. I'm Michael Bull, and this is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. Can you join us to support a good cause? Check out Andy's Army. A commercial agent's daughter is dealing with non-traumatic brain injuries. His daughter, their family, and others in their same position could use our help. The website is andysarmy.com, and that's spelled ANDEES. Well, today we're getting an update on the U.S. industrial market. My guests are Mitch Rochelle with PwC and Greg Herron with Seafried Industrial Properties. What makes you guys nervous about the market, and what makes you excited, Mitch?
Excited, me. I think that the fact that the commercial real estate market, if you look at it holistically and all of the food groups, in that industrial, the least sexy of all of the components or subsegments, is what's getting all of the investor attention. That's interesting to me, and I think that's got me excited. For coming out of the recession, every waking dollar that was funneling back in were big cities, core markets, trophy assets. No disrespect to people who build and develop and own an industrial, but trophy isn't necessarily a word that you hear associated with industrial. I mean, yet that's where investors are focusing now, and that's where they're frustrated because they can't find properties. So maybe, just maybe, we'll get more investor attention in retail. Maybe we'll get some investor attention in secondary and tertiary markets. And I think that's what got me excited, because I think dollars have to stop chasing the same assets over and over again and start looking more broadly. And as capital flows into different parts of the country and capital flows throughout the different food groups in real estate, I think it's good overall for the asset class. So that's, even though my voice might not display excitement, I'm excited.
Okay. Well, great. Well, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your insight.
Thanks, Michael.
Can you join us next week? Well, I hope so. We'll look at the U.S. medical market. Thanks for spending some time with us. I'm Michael Bull. And until next week, be sure that you always lead, learn, and laugh, and join us for the Commercial Real Estate Show.